Whether planning parties for loads of different people, or maybe buying a gift for a friend or a loved one, sometimes picking out the right wine can be a tough choice. After all, wine is incredibly subjective. What I like might not be enjoyable to someone else. So how do you know to buy wine for someone with different tastes than yours? Well, here we believe this is where the Goldilocks wines live. Hey there, I'm Jacqueline for Vero, where we go around the world searching out wild and scarce, hard to find small production wines to bring to the US for wine lovers, businesses, and distributors alike to discover and enjoy along with us. And we love to think about this concept of Goldilocks wines, or wines that are just right for a lot of people. Some might also call them people-pleasing wines or easy drinking wines. These wines are, as we said, great for parties where people with different tastes have gathered, or great for gifts, be them personal or part of a corporate gifting program, both categories of gifts that we do serve. And you can check out the Vero Gifts and Sets page on verovino.com that I will have linked below for great gift ideas, all based around wine. But how do we find these easy to drink Goldilocks wines? You can think of this type of wine in other terms as well, like quaffable, glue, or simply drinkable. These terms all point to a style of easy to enjoy wines. They're wines that are perfect for sipping on their own, but at casual gatherings or as a thoughtful gift. But what makes this type of wine so approachable? It all comes down to balance, we think. A concept that wine professionals constantly will seek out in wine. Just like Goldilocks was looking for that just right porridge, we're looking for wines that hit a sweet spot of not too much of one thing, but not too little of another. Balance is this key to creating this truly versatile and crowd-pleasing wine that many different people can enjoy and remember. So to understand balance, let's quickly recap the main structural components that help us to define a wine's character. Acidity is what gives a wine freshness and brightness. This mouth-watering quality is like the juice of a lemon or tartness of a green apple. In an easy-to-drink wine, you want a noticeable acidity. It is pleasant after all, but not so much acidity that it makes the wine feel overly tart or sour or puckery. It should be refreshing, not aggressive. Tannins are found primarily in red wines. They are compounds that create a rough texture and sensation in your mouth. And in extreme cases, it can even be drying like sand. While tannins are essential for structure and aging in many red wines, in an easy-to-drink wine, you generally want your tannins that are not too overpowering or harsh. Basically, look for tannins that are softer and well integrated, that contribute to a smooth finish rather than that drying sensation. Lastly, minerality or sapidity are subtle characteristics that can contribute to a wine's overall texture and complexity. They are often perceived as savory or rocky qualities and sensations. While it's not always a prominent feature in an easy-to-drink wine, when these things are present, they add an intriguing layer to the overall complexity and balance of the wine without making it too difficult to drink. And of course, I wanted to separate out from all of this an important characteristic, and that is sugar or sweetness, because it needs a little bit of a more special attention, let's say. You see, we've talked a lot in the past about how sweetness and residual sugars in wine can help us create balance, especially in contrast to acidity. But actually, wine can appear sweet or leave the sensation of being sweet without having that residual sugar. This can come from aromas and flavors of fruit, so really fruit-forward wines. These fruit-forward wines will have prominent and enjoyable, crisp, ripe fruit flavors and aromas. This natural sweetness caused by the fruit sensations can, even in a dry wine, provide a counterbalance to the acidity without having any residual sugars. So when all of these elements are in harmony, the wine will feel more complete and more inviting. It's not overly complex, it's not challenging, it's simply balanced. This is what we mean by a Goldilocks wine. Versatile, harmonious, and of course, incredibly easy to drink and pleasurable. These are wines that are perfect for any occasion, ready to be enjoyed without any fuss. Because of this balance, without peaks and flavors on one side or another, they can satisfy a wide range of tastes and preferences without being bland or boring. They can make your guests or gift receivers happy and satisfied, but without knowing what they like to begin with. So, what are the general characteristics that we should be on the lookout for that can help us narrow down on a balanced wine that's in the Goldilocks zone? Our first characteristic was the last one that we actually mentioned earlier, that being fruit forward. These prominent and inviting fruit flavors and aromas will lend a pleasantness and familiarity that helps make them highly enjoyable for both experienced wine drinkers and those just beginning their wine journey, as these aromas and flavors are often easier to appreciate than wines that are dry, earthy, or heavily oaked. Medium-bodied wines are a quintessential idea of just right. They are very much middle of the road in terms of weight and richness. A medium-bodied wine isn't too light and watery, nor is it overly heavy and dense. This well-balanced body can make it very versatile and pleasant for various tastes and even with food pairings as well. Of course, there's always a time for those big, full-bodied reds or oaked Chardonnays, but when we're looking for a Goldilocks choice, it's the medium-bodied wines that will hit the sweet spot. Wines that have a smooth or a round finish will have a soft and pleasant aftertaste as well. Remember, the finish is that lingering taste and sensation after you've swallowed the wine. So in a Goldilocks wine, you don't want really long-lasting or overly apparent notes of sharp acidity or harsh tannins. Instead, we want the wine to glide down smoothly without any sharp edges. And actually, blended wines are a great option for a people-pleasing wine. This is because often a winemaker will carefully craft and blend different grape varieties in order to create that just right feeling. And this is a great thing, obviously, when we're looking for that Goldilocks wine. You see, when an artisan winemaker can thoughtfully combine those different grapes and flavors, overall, they can focus on creating that harmonious and balanced profile that will appeal to a wider base of preferences, offering a little bit of something for everyone. And of course, an important consideration is that not all people are wine lovers. Some actually can be more drawn towards beer. So if you're looking to introduce wine to a friend who primarily drinks beer or to someone that's just starting wine exploration, Goldilocks wines are a great way to break that ice. Look for slightly sparkling or fizzy wines that have fruit-forward profiles to help beginners and beer drinkers find their palate and be converted to the joys of wine. Now, you may have noticed that I haven't necessarily given you individual single bottles of wines to check out in this video. That is because in the Vero shop on verovino.com, we source small production rare wines, and sometimes they just finish, and all the more reason to stock up on them while you can. However, we do have a companion article on the Vero blog that I will have linked down below that is titled Wines That Are Just Right. This we keep updated with wines that are currently available in the Vero shop that fit each of the various categories of people-pleasing wines. So, to get individual recommendations and purchase actual bottles that we classify as people-pleasing that can be shipped right to your door, I highly recommend that you check out that article linked below. And of course, we always think wine is highly subjective, and the best way to learn is to experience and experiment. And while you're on verovino.com, be sure to sign up for the Vero newsletter. You see, the Goldilocks wine article we actually first released a little while ago, and you would have been notified if you were a subscriber to the Vero newsletter of that article being released. I'll have that sign up link down below to keep you up to date on new content, updates, and so much more from Vero. So thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below and be sure to subscribe here on YouTube for new wine-related content. I will leave you with this video here to continue your wine journey that's all about wine beer lovers can enjoy. See you there. Bye.